God rejects worldly and fleshly praise and worship. When God is praised and worshipped, believers are to do so by the Holy Spirit. There must not be any worldliness. There must not be any fleshliness. All praise must be pure. All worship must be pure. God is pure, and the offering given to him must be pure. God is to be offered what is holy and righteous. He is not to be offered just anything. Those who don't praise and worship God sin, and those who do praise and worship God sin when they do not praise and worship God correctly. So when you come to praise and worship, remember the God you are approaching. Come in love and come in fear. Come in love and come in fear. Yes, come with affection, but also come with reverence. Remember the one you are approaching. Remember the one you are approaching, church. God, who has never sinned. God, the everlasting perfection. God who is not tainted. God who is without blemish. And you are coming into his presence to give him an offering. So, church, let there be love and let there be fear. Don't be deceived. Those who offer God praise and worship that is contaminated by worldliness, that is contaminated by fleshliness, will have their part in the lake of fire to come. And those who influence others to praise and worship God in a way that is contaminated by worldliness, that is contaminated by fleshliness, will have their part in the lake of fire to come. Sinful praise is rejected by God. Sinful worship is rejected by God. Don't be deceived. You who song lead in church, do you know the responsibility you bear? Do you comprehend what God requires of you? The offering of your heart and mouth must be pure, and your influence on the congregation must be in such a way that their hearts and mouths are pure also. You are not to sing any way you want. You are not to sing anything you want. God does not accept the offering of worldliness or fleshliness. You must sing in a manner that is by the Holy Spirit and in a manner that is pleasing to the Holy Spirit. You must be surrendered to the Holy Spirit, and he will help you to song lead, that the people are led into praise and worship. And what about the musicians of a church? They are to play in a manner that is by the Holy Spirit and that is pleasing to the Holy Spirit. They are not to play any way they want and anything they want. They must be surrendered to the Holy Spirit, and he will help them play. And what about the congregation of the church? They are to sing in a manner that is by the Holy Spirit and that is pleasing to the Holy Spirit. They are not to sing any way they want and anything they want. They must be surrendered to the Holy Spirit, and he will help them sing. So, when you come to praise and worship, choose wisely what you sing and choose wisely how you sing. All that is tainted, all that is blemished, according to worldliness and fleshliness, is sinful and condemns the person who praises and worships in such a way. So when you come to praise and worship, come in love and come with fear. Come in love and come with fear. Be affectionate towards God Be affectionate towards God. But there are boundaries of reverence you must follow. You are not to offer up anything to God. You are praising and worshipping the everlasting God who is holy. Sinful praise is rejected by God. Sinful worship is rejected by God. Praise and worship in a manner that is by the Holy Spirit and that is pleasing to the Holy Spirit. And to those who reject these words and offer unto God what suits them, what feeds their flesh, what entertains them, what entertains the people, what is popular with the people, know that your judgment is just and you will perish because of the sin you choose. The song leader that conducts praise and worship according to worldliness and fleshliness is Satan's minister. And as Satan's minister will end up where Satan ends up, the lake of fire. The offering of worldliness and fleshliness is what Satan receives. It is not what God receives. And the musicians who play according to worldliness and fleshliness, you are Satan's ministers also, for you offer unto Satan the worldliness and fleshliness he receives. And you of the congregation who praise and worship according to the worldliness and fleshliness, according to worldliness and fleshliness, you are Satan's ministers also. For you offer unto Satan the worldliness and fleshliness he receives. Praise and worship by the Holy Spirit. Praise and worship by the Holy Spirit, or you are singing your way to the gates of hell, and beyond those gates you will enter. When you see a person song leading in a worldly way, a fleshly way, you are seeing what is dead, not living. You are looking into a graveyard and seeing what is dead being exposed from the grave. That which is decaying, that which is decomposing, that which has stench, that which now spreads throughout the church. And the musicians and the congregation who praise and worship in a worldly and fleshly way, they are the dead being exposed from the grave. That which is decaying, that which is decomposing, that which has stench, that which now spreads throughout the church. So, don't be deceived. Sinful praise is rejected by God. Sinful worship is rejected by God. God is going to judge those who do not praise and worship Him, and He is going to judge those who do. Make sure you praise and worship wisely. All entertainment for oneself, all entertainment for the people, all that is according to worldliness and fleshliness, that is dressed up as praise and worship for God, God will judge, and His judgment will be terrifying. Had people come to God in the true love of Him, in the true fear of Him, they would have given Him the praise and worship He wanted. But they did not truly love God. They did not truly fear God. Therefore, their judgment is just. So, praise and worship by the Holy Spirit, or you are singing your way to the gates of hell, and beyond those gates you will enter. So, You of the cemetery who offer up the stench of your dead praise and worship to God, come to God now. Come in humility and discard the worldly and fleshly way you praise and worship. Come in holiness and righteousness and offer unto God what is holy and righteous, that which is of His Holy Spirit. God rejects worldly praise and worship. See that He receives yours. Praise and worship by the Holy Spirit. Praise and worship in a way that is pleasing to the Holy Spirit. Offer unto God what is holy and righteous, that which is of His Spirit.